is said that Imam al-Hussein would say that a house without sakina would not be worth living in. And I think it's all too easy to forget when we remember the tragedies of the Ma'sumin alayhim salam, that they were just human beings ultimately. They went through the same feelings that we all went through. Age and gender, those same feelings that we have, they encompass the same. So again, as we mentioned at the start, think back to that 4-year-old daughter, or niece, or cousin, or sister, or friend, whatever it is. Associate yourself. This is Sayyid Ruqayyah. And like with any other young girl, she wanted to spend time with her father, play with her father, sleep on her father's chest. It's said that Hussein wouldn't actually move until Sayyid Ruqayyah had actually fallen asleep, and then he would slide her across, just like any father would do. And the incredible thing is that we've heard this hundreds of times, yet tears still flow from our eyes. It is said that when the 2nd of Muharram came, the armies of Yazid then began to gather at Karbala. And listen to what Hussein says to his sister Zainab. He says, the time has come for you to get Sakina used to going to sleep without me being there for her. Now I don't know whether Sayyida Ruqayyah knew what was going to come or not. But we know that Sayyida Zainab and Imam Hussein knew, they were foretold by their mother. Imagine the break of heart for Sayyida Zainab to prepare Sayyida Ruqayyah. Fast forward, the day comes. Sayyida Ruqayyah looks around, my brothers have gone, my cousins have gone, all of those who I saw and I used to sit with and I used to see my parents play with, they've all gone. And now she looks and you hear the utterance of Al-Atshan, the thirst. The thirst is killing me. Ruqayyah, all of the sons and all of the daughters who are left, the thirst is killing me, was the cry of Al-Atshan. The thirst, the thirst, the thirst. And as mentioned, Abu Fadl starts to tremble. He looks and says to Imam al-Hussein, if you don't let me go to fight, then at least let me go to quench the thirst. At least let that be in the moment. It's said that when Al-Abbas was getting the water, the children came across and were waiting with little cups. And you know what little children are like? They will always say, don't worry, I know this is happening. And they'll tell, no, I know this is happening. Sayyida Ruqayyah is telling them, don't worry, my uncle Abbas has never failed me. My uncle Abbas has never failed me. And it's that heartbreaking moment when it's actually registered in her head that he's not coming back. When she sees her father bringing the flag back instead of Al-Abbas alayhi salam.
Abu Fadl, as he reaches that river, quench your thirst, wait your brother, fill that flask and come faster. Sakina cries for water. Don't worry, Abbas is near. Soon he will be standing here. As he gallops back to us in Abbas, we do all trust he will reach us, he must. Why is that arrow about to thrust into his eye? Abbas, don't stop, don't worry, the alam's not dropped. The alam now starts to fall. Why is his arms with him no more? Why is Hussein's name being called? Abbas hits the sand, oh Lord. Hussein runs to his brother. I failed, I'm sorry, master.
She's lost her older brother. The symbolism behind this is what an older brother, that guardian. She then loses her uncle, another guardian. And then the moment comes when she sees Hussein mounting his horse. Imam al-Hussein has said his goodbyes to everyone. Right now, at this moment, his aim is just the battlefield and to go and serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala till his very last. And as we all know, he mounts that horse. He shakes the horse to make Zuljana go into the battlefield, and it stops. He tries again and again, and it stops. He looks left, right, up, and then he looks down. He sees Sayyida Ruqayya clinching onto that leg. It's said that Sayyida Ruqayya says, "O horse, do not take my father away. O horse, do not take my father away. No horse, no, you will not bring back my father. Since dawn, everyone that has gone into the battlefield has not come back. Please, please, horse, do not take my father away. I will not be able to live without my father, please." Hussein gets off his horse and he says, "My darling Sakina, do not cry, my love." What a statement. How much does that hold? A father saying to a daughter, "Do not cry, yet I know you're thirsty, yet you know that I'm about to get killed, yet do not cry." What else can I say? He says, "My darling Sakina, do not cry, my love. Did you not give me permission to go? Sakina, my darling, go. Go and recite du'as with your auntie and your mother. Your grandmother is waiting for me." And Sakina replies saying, "Father, I am so used to sleeping on your chest every night. Tell me, Father, how am I going to sleep without you? Father, just one last request. Please let me lie down once more on your chest." Hussein lies down on the plains of Karbala, and Sayyida Ruqayya puts her head on her father's chest. And after a few seconds, Sakina gets up and says, and watch the courage, "Go, Father, go. Fi amanillah, Father. Fi amanillah."
Sakina, my dear, come and take some rest right now. Close your eyes and sleep on your father's chest. Hold me tight. Don't let go, for I fear for tomorrow. No more dreams for you, just tales of sorrow. Your lips are parched and your body's frail. Ya Allah, why is this all so real? Weren't you born to be a princess, my sweet? Why are all these thorns then stuck in your feet? Sakina, my dear, come and take some rest. Close your eyes and sleep. Sleep on your father's chest. Hold me tight. Don't let go, for I fear for tomorrow. No more dreams for you, just tales of sorrow.
It's said that when Shami Ghariba, Shimr comes to Sayyida Ruqayya, Allahu Akbar. Shimr comes to Sayyida Ruqayya and slaps the face of the granddaughter, Rasulullah and Imam Ali alayhi salam. It is said that Shimr then comes and grabs the earrings of Sayyida Ruqayya, and instead of taking them out like a normal human being does, he rips them from her ears. This is Sayyida Ruqayya. I can only just envisage what the body of Abu Fadl does when he sees this sight from the banks of Furat. They start rounding up the women and children. Sayyida Zainab with the other ladies start rounding up the children. And they see that one is missing. And that one young girl is Sayyidah Ruqayyah. They search and they search and they look out for where she is, knowing that there's only one place where she must be. They go towards the body of Hussein, which has no head, and they see Sayyidah Ruqayyah clenching, holding on to him.
I can smell that putrid blood of the enemies, but the scented fragrances of paradise through the martyrs. I can smell the sweetness of victory, but the sourness of the struggle. I can smell something familiar coming from the dark and now silent battlefield. As I walk towards it, it leads to the sense which I'd inhale. It will lead to the sense which I'd inhale before I'd sleep every night. The headless body of my father.
And during Shana Gharib, Sayyidah Zainab has a vision. She has a vision and she sees a man on a horse riding towards her with Al-Abbas gone. She is now the one that protects the camp. Sayyidah Zainab says, "Oh man on the horse, please do not come any nearer. I have just managed to get the children to sleep. We have nothing left of us, please go away." The rider yet still continues riding towards Sayyidah Zainab, and Sayyidah Zainab in her might of Abbas lifted a broken spear and warned, "Stop, stop there, I am the daughter of Ali and I am warning you to stop." He spoke and says, "Daughter Zainab, do you not recognize your father Ali ibn Abi Talib?" She goes and embraces his feet. And she says, "I'm so glad that you have come, although it's too late. Where were you when Ali Akbar was killed? Where were you when Qasim was killed? Where were you when Abbas was killed? And when Abbas was killed, Hussein was killed, Father?" He says, "Zainab, my daughter, you're very tired. I've come to guard your tents. You have a lot to do tomorrow, lots of sleepless nights. Go to sleep and I'll guard the tents." And the poet now continues in the words that he feels Sayyidah Ruqayyah will now have said.
I can see the corpses of the inhabitants of God's wrath, but also the glowing kings and princes of paradise. I can see the moon has fallen from space. I'd always have to look up to see my uncle's face, but this time his face is balanced upon a spear. I can see the lives taken from the pure youth, envisaging the futures of my cousins and brothers, but now their future is alongside my grandfather. I can see my grandmother's comforting arms, ready to embrace me soon.
And it just shows the young nature of Sayyidah Ruqayyah, that when in the prison, she would stare at the flock of birds going towards their nests at sunset. And her innocent nature makes her ask Sayyidah Zainab, will Sakina be going home like those birds flying back to their homes? She falls into a dream and she wakes up crying and she's looking around for her father. The cursed Yazid is awoken due to the cries of Sayyidah Ruqayyah, a young girl who has lost her father, who has lost her uncle, her brothers, who has seen tragedies that we never let our children see. And she says, "Oh my dear aunt, where is my father? A few minutes ago I was with my father and he kissed me and said to me that my dear Sakina, you will soon be with me, but where is my father now?" Yazid the curse set the head of Mawla alayhi salam to Ruqayyah in a plate. And Ruqayyah falls into more crying, clutching onto the head of Hussein, clutching on and not father's head. Who martyred my father? Why are we held as captives? And all of a sudden the noise of cries goes to silence. Was it a sleep or a permanent sleep? Zainab calls for Sajjad to come over to check. He goes to check the pulse of Ruqayya and feels no more breathing left and feels a cold body. The burial takes place in that same place, buried in a dungeon and then is reburied after. But the tragedy that really hurts the souls of the believers and any father sat in this room is that when they were doing the ghusl and kafan of Sayyidah Ruqayya, when they were doing the ghusl and kafan of Sayyidah Ruqayya, they saw on her body that due to the injuries and the burning tents, clothes had actually intermingled with her flesh. A 4-year-old girl, and these clothes had intermingled within her flesh. And it just makes you think this wasn't the first time that a lady within Al Muhammad that their ghusl and kafan was a surprise. We think to Lady Fatima, we think when Imam Ali, the one who lifted the door of Khaybar, came across her rib and started trembling. And it repeats with the granddaughter of her, Sayyidah Ruqayya. But the one part that I don't think we'll ever be able to understand is the tragedy of when Imam al-Hussein has fallen by this point. The world is now looking towards that one point in Karbala. Hussein is left alone on the plains and they all cry out, finish him! Finish him, they all cry. And it's said that they take him to the ground with stones that they throw. Hussein is left there. No one is able to carry out this deed. Yet they go to Hussein and they don't just use any sword. They use a little blade that is blunt that this Daesh use them today. And they use that to behead their Mawla Hussein alayhi salam.
Hussein is struck and collapses to the floor. Screams and cries from the tent's definitive sounds. May Allah have mercy on the one who calls with me, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. Droplets of blood embrace the floor from the heavy clouds around Imam's body. Appears thugs within a crowd. Finish him, they call. Why do you wait? Even the worst of souls start to realize their mistake again. May Allah have mercy on the one who calls with me, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. The deed is done and Karbala shakes. Hussein lies unmoved. Zainab looks unto her.